My lovely golden viewers of gold, do you know those who reach their destination use determination that is born from inspiration? The average is only consumed with today, but our champions are obsessed with tomorrow. Therefore, they plan for it. If you think about it, there is absolutely no way possible for you to become a champion without having to gain victory through trials and obstacles. Are you ready to go for gold? I am ready. If you're ready and I'm ready, let's go for gold.
Today on Gold.
This is the ultimate secret of life. Take notice. To be a champion, compete. To be a great champion, compete with the best. To be the greatest champion, compete with yourself. And if you win, the victory is yours. Find yourself. Fight yourself and conquer yourself. Our champion did. The story of resilience that is coming from our champion of the day will blow your mind. Be inspired and be a true champion. An amazing speaker with a heart of gold who encourages others to be more and do more. She is on gold to tell her beautiful story about success and happiness. One of her strongest points in this interview is having a vision board. She's been called the Kintsugi Queen because of her ability to join, repair, and transform teams and turn them into something quite wonderful. She believes that all teams can be turned around to become collaborative, committed, and cohesive superstars of the organization they serve. Her over 15 years experience in this industry sees it all. Through her company Y Connect, she empowers leaders and teams to find their voice, step into their power, and speak in a way so that people want to listen to them. Be inspired by our champion of the day.
Hi, I'm Yoke Van Dam. I'm so excited to be here today on Gold. I'm called the Kintsugi Queen. I work with leaders and teams to really step into their purpose. So for many years, I was very frustrated. I was in sales. So I'd studied publishing and I would be traveling very vast distances, 7 to 8 hours at a time. And I would get to a place and carry books and do a presentation. I'd feel like I wasn't placed on this planet to just sell. And I was always like yearning for my purpose. Why am I here? How can I use those talents? You know, those talents that I had in high school where I was doing 3 to 4 musicals a year, singing, dancing, acting, performing. And then what happened is my company sent us on a presentation skills course. And I met Deshan Kaisel, and she's a mountaineer, and she's climbed Everest, I think, about 5 times, and she climbs the 7 summits, the biggest mountains in the world. She comes back, and then she speaks about endurance, self-discipline, and she gets sponsored by companies. And I was like, is that a career? I would love that. So I walked up to her during the course, and I said to her, is this a career? Can you be a speaker? And she said, yes. And I said, is there a route? And she said, there's no formal route, but you can join Toastmasters. So it took me about 10 years of doing Toastmasters and really learning after hours to perfect the craft of speaking, training, getting on stages, and having lawyers, engineers, doctors saying to me, wow, you should be doing this full time, to eventually getting into coaching and like really going through phases of my life that I could step out of sales, become a sales trainer, and eventually a few years later start my own business, Y Connect. So what I want to say is everything doesn't just happen in a snapshot. It took me 10 years to build the 10,000 hours of building the craft of becoming a speaker. I had quite a few turning points. So the one was I actually went through a very serious breakup, and I realized that I was broken. And I realized that if you don't deal with your wounds and you form this belief that all men are bad or all relationships are bad and you put up your walls, you're never going to attract anything good in your life. And I knew that I had to heal in order to really step into my purpose and help others. Because a broken person, you know, and they say you can't give water from an empty bucket. You first need to fill your own bucket. So I went and studied NLP and actually got a lot of healing, but also equipped myself to become a coach. And that was a huge turning point because when I had the NLP skills, I could use it in speaking, but I could also use it in coaching. And I've seen huge transformation happening in people's lives. So something strange that happened is at a stage I worked on, I wanted to be more powerful, and I wanted to be taken seriously by CEOs and people like that. And then out of the blue, I got this LinkedIn message from an internationally well-published author, Nick Reed, and he writes business school type of books, and he asked me to review his book because I did a course with him at Entrepreneur Magazine, and he said, you're one of my most professional, respected colleagues. And I was like, what? Has he sent this to the wrong person? Like, what happened here? And what I started realizing when I started doing the internal work and working on my state and how I wanted to feel and be perceived, once your energy shifts, you attract different people in your life. So people started inviting me to speak at events. I got onto radio shows, TV shows, things like that. So things start shifting only when you're actually willing to do the inner work. And that was a huge turning point for me to say, like, work on yourself. And ultimately it allowed me to attract an amazing husband, and we've been married 7 years this year. But it's like, you need to first do the work yourself before the opportunities will arise. So what I would say is work with what you have. See what you have available before you go and make extensive loans. Try to see if you can't start selling something small first and find a very specific target audience that you can speak to and focus on them first. So start with small steps. Don't go massive where you can completely fail, and just start taking the small steps every single day. What I would also say, if you feel like you're failing all the time, is it's called positive psychology. Every morning, start and make a list of 3 things you want to accomplish that day. And at the end of the day, what you want to do is you want to think, what am I grateful for today? And it might not be the same 3 things, but the fact that you're focusing on gratitude means that your mind and your emotions can't focus on the negative. So very often in life and social media and on the internet, people are fed with toxic news. People get into negativity. If you can focus in your own life on what you're grateful for and what is the next small step you can take, and every day congratulate yourself as you're taking those steps, you can move towards your goal. So see where that goalpost is, but break it into smaller little steps. Try to find mentors, coaches that can support you, that you can get insights from. So for me, I found you can even listen to podcasts of international experts. You don't have to necessarily spend one-on-one time with them, because on your own you can only achieve so much. But the moment you have a coach that has actually done that same work, you can actually fast track and have learned from their mistakes. So because they know what roadblocks they are, what areas to avoid, and what are the actual steps to take.
Fidel Castro said, I began a revolution with 82 men, but if I had to do it all over again, it is going to be with 10 or 15. But most importantly, it is going to be with faith, an absolute faith in God, an unwavering faith in God. Listen, people, no matter how small you are, if you have faith and a plan of action, you will become unstoppable. Gold returns in a moment. Beautiful people with beautiful souls. To handle yourself, use your head. To handle others, use your heart. And remember, there is only one time that is important. Now is important because it is the only time you can achieve something or do something or serve someone or help someone or make this world a better place for all. A Chinese proverb says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Please let your heart be golden and help somebody. Now. Do it now.
Livelihood was created in 2017. It is a registered NPO with social development. We also have a PBO number. Livelihood Horizon existed through a number of friends that got together and say, what is that you can do to help communities out there? We are far removed from our places where we originated, and then we decided that let's find a perfect spot where we can just add our value and through our experiences and also working with communities in terms of like trying to help with regards to social ills that are happening in our communities. Okay, to people that are going through challenges, here is my advice. Throw your burden to your Creator, and also make sure that you seek help. There are people or philanthropies or organizations that are able to help you. My favorite quote is, the way to change the community is through action and taking responsibility in your own community. That's a quote by Jeff Bridges. The way we apply this, obviously at our NPO, it's our motto because we help everyone that comes in. So we lead by example. So we take action so that we can help those that are in need. Okay, our two major programs for our NPO is rehabilitation of drug users, especially among youth. The second one is the aftercare program. In our youth rehabilitation program, our process is when someone or the user or the client is ready to be rehabilitated, then we take them through a process, a rigorous process, using our social workers who are trained and professional in terms of going through the counseling sessions and also preparing them for rehabilitation through writing reports, which are called psychosocial reports, all the way to the end where they have to go and being transferred to our partner drug rehabilitation centers that we work with. Our second major program is called Aftercare Program. It's when we take these rehabilitated young people coming back from rehab centers through a program while they are in recovery, where obviously that involves a 12-step program where they have to attend meetings and meet up with other minded young people. At the same time, they need to be of service in the community, and they need to be kept busy. And we do that through our skills program. One of our successful one, obviously, it was one that was called furniture making, which we did through a service provider as well as F&P SETA. So we are able to help 6 users to be able to then acquire those skills of furniture making, and now they are working in our community.
Leaders don't influence you to be like them, they inspire you to be yourself. Listen, we may run out of resources, but please never ever run out of ideas. Be inspired.
Steve Jobs was given away for adoption by his biological parents, and he became interested in electronics after his foster dad showed him the joys of technical tinkering in their garage. He had to drop out of college because his education was costing his foster parents a lot. He used to return Coke bottles for money and live on free meals at the Hare Krishna temple. Here is what Steve Jobs says is the most important thing in life. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. Because almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. Golden viewers, what is important to you? You may answer it quietly and be inspired.
Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good becomes better and your better becomes bester. Let's go on the street and talk to our believers. What are your views on relationship, love, happiness, contentment, and the world itself? Let's go for it. It's Golden View.
My name is Jeremy. I'm Congolese. If I have money today, what am I going to do? First of all, I will help people because, this day people are suffering a lot, especially children. I will I'll open something to help kids, to help children, the one who can't study.
My name is Mohao Ngwana, and the person that inspires me is Eminem. And Eminem inspires me because he makes beautiful music that I relate to, and I myself am a musician, and I would like to make music, and I would like to be the next African Eminem.
Everybody wants to be the champion, but only few are. It is those who believe in themselves, in their vision, in their goals, in their dreams who will keep fighting until they achieve it. Carry yourself like a champion so that when you get there, it is not going to be a surprise, a champion did. The story of resilience continues on Gold with our champion of the day. Be inspired.
My wish for Gold is that the viewership really grows and explodes way beyond the borders of South Africa. That people really get inspired, but that they don't only get inspired, that they actually choose action. I wish that the viewers would go out and find mentors and coaches. They'll start listening to podcasts, that they'll start reading more books, and that they start moving beyond the realms of their own family. They can actually impact other people and impact people in the community around them and in much broader circles. I wish Gold to get amazing sponsorships, to be seen by international TV shows, and for people's lives to really change and be impacted. Because Gold stands for positivity, influence, and growth. I have two people that I want to highlight that have really stood the test of time. The first is Nikki Aptenor, a speaker that's based in Cape Town. And Nikki was born without arms. And ever since she was a child, her parents always made her focus on what can she do rather than what she can't do. She went on to become a psychologist, and she touches so many people's lives and helping them heal. And then she's an international keynote speaker, inspiring people. And what really blows me away of Nikki is she came up with this initiative called Nikki Drives, and she is now, through her foundation, actually helping people that are disabled in some way to get cars modified so they can drive. Like with her, she doesn't have any arms, but she's driving using her feet. She's able to use her feet to type WhatsApps, to do anything that you do with your hands. She's using her feet. When I look at Nikki, I get so inspired to also realize that where are the areas where I'm actually stopping myself from doing something? And can I not focus on what I can do rather than what I can't do? The second person that really inspires me is Nick Smith. He was, as a little baby, thrown in a car accident outside of the car where a lot of his family members actually died, outside of the car where cars went slamming into them. So he had to overcome the trauma of family members dying, plus he had severe damage where a certain side of his body is actually, not functioning fully. And doctors said to him that he would never be able to walk. Currently now, he is a speaker and he inspires people about growth mindset, and he actually teaches them to dance. So he is completely moved beyond what doctors said would be possible in his life, and he's happily married, touching and inspiring people all over the world. So when I look at these two people, where you would think the cards that they were dealt wasn't necessarily positive, they decided to turn it around, and through the nurturing of their parents that actually cared about them, to create that mindset to say that anything is possible, they were willing to overcome, and now they can actually teach and grow others to also heal. Success for me is about really having a balanced lifestyle. At the moment, there's a lot of talk out there about quiet quitting, where they say people are quietly not wanting to do their work anymore and they start doing the bare minimum. And I, in many ways, disagree with that. I feel that you should have a balanced lifestyle. I don't think that you should work every single night, every single weekend, even if you're an entrepreneur. So for me, the way success looks like for myself is having discretionary spend and time so that I can actually go and visit my mom for a long weekend, or I can go and travel every second year, or I can go on vacation. I can actually spend time with my family and friends and do things over the weekends. And what will success look like for you? Success, I think, really has to do with looking at that life wheel and analyzing how you're doing on the spiritual side, on the relationship side, on your finances side, on all of the different areas, on fitness, on health. If you look at those 7 levels, are you well balanced, or are you only focusing on money? Is that really successful if you have no relationships in your life? Those 4 major keys of being successful in life for me has to do with work-life balance. So not just working seven days a week up till very late in the evening. So also allowing yourself time to enjoy yourself. So also planning activities, date nights, time with your kids, time with your friends. So planning for those highs that you can have. Because if you're not going to plan for fun things, it's never going to happen, right? The second thing is about being agile. What COVID has really taught us is that we need to be nimble and be able to move around. So when you're dealing with clients, are you flexible? Are you open to feedback? Are you able to tweak things to work in the way that they want it? Or are you very fixed in the way that you want things? The third thing has to do with having a growth mindset. There are 2 types of mindset. You get a fixed mindset, which basically says, I was born with these talents or I wasn't. So a fixed mindset person will say, my dad was bad at maths, so I'm going to be bad at maths. Well, a growth mindset person says, no, I will find a teacher and I'm going to learn and I'm going to practice and I can become better. A growth mindset person can learn from their mistakes. They're willing to listen to feedback. They're willing to be coached and mentored. Well, the fixed mindset person says, this is me, just deal with it. And the fourth one is having a clear direction and purpose in your life. So some of the ways in which you could do it is trying out doing a vision board. So how you do a vision board is you can do it on your computer, but you could also get magazines, newspaper clippings, and cutting out pictures of things that looks like the life that you want. If you keep on seeing this image day in and day out and you stick it against your wall close to your workspace, you will start actually allocating budget and your monthly spend towards it. For instance, I'll give you an example. On a vision board I made quite a few years ago, it was when I was still dating my husband. I actually put a picture of us because I saw, that we want to have a future together. I put a picture of a house. I also put certain destinations. So I put a safari tent. I put pictures of Botswana. I put hiking pictures and even dancing pictures. And then there was things, so a lot of interests that I have that I wanted to get fulfilled. And then what was interesting, within 4 months we were engaged, and then within the next 6 months we were married. And then when we went on our honeymoon that we planned for, it looked like the pictures on the vision board. We planned and saved money to go to Thailand. So it doesn't just happen instantly. It's about saying, I'm going to work really hard on this sales project, because if I get this money, I'm going to put money aside to save for that vacation that I went with my partner or with my kids. Or if you know that you want to send your kids to a private school, you put those pictures up there so that you can slowly but surely start investing money and focusing on that. If you really want to be successful, you need to have a dream. You need to visually see it, but then you need to constantly actually take actions towards it.
My beautiful souls, whatever you choose to do it so well, like Michelangelo paints a picture. I said, do it with all your heart, like Beethoven composed music. I said, do it like Leontyne Price sings before the Metropolitan Opera. If you love it, do it with all your heart, like Shakespeare wrote poetry. My beautiful golden viewers of gold, do it with all your souls, like we are inspiring your souls on gold. We will see you next time on Gold. Always go for gold. Go forth and prosper.